Conscious Collaboration brings together entrepreneurs, changemakers, and thought leaders. We aim to highlight the people that embody the idea of aligned mind, body, and business. Each week, we share, discuss, and learn from the various experiences and ideas of our guest experts. Through our discovery, we find a path to an aligned mind, body, and business.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Emily, and we are the Conscious Collaboration Podcast. What up, y'all? What up, Lisa?
Mostly conscious today.
Mostly conscious. the unconscious collaboration podcast.
It depends.
There's some things going on right now. We thought we'd about hit due time for an energy check-in, and we're going to do today's a little different from the usual. We like to mix it up a little bit. Yeah. So as usual, we will have Lisa pull a couple of cards from the I Ching, but first. I'm going to start it off with a little hit from the New Orleans deck. Shout out to my beloved city, with starting off the year with quite the tragedy. But as always, showing their inspirational resilience in their recovery from what they got going on. So I'll put some intention into this pull just to send any, light and energy that we're able to cultivate in this session today over to those hurting from that incident. Certainly over to California with the fires and just anybody who happens to be feeling it right now. And also allowing us as individuals to cultivate that light energy to continue to water our own gardens, so to speak, in the midst of all the chaos and intensity. Yeah?
Sounds good to me.
Right. So, with that intention in mind, let's see what type of energy we are going to begin this check-in with to just come on out. And I've never actually pulled this card before. It's number 22, which seems like a nice number for right now. And it's energy, speak your truth. So very.
You said 22? I thought I read 99.
22.
22.
Yeah, it's probably. Is it backwards? Is it mirrored?
No, it's just fancy number 2.
It is. It's fancy, extra curly. So if you're not watching us, it's very a throat chakra oriented card. There's a woman figure and her chin is tilted so that her throat is wide open and you can see that blue bright shining chakra there, and coming from her mouth you see kind of those they look like smoke curls, but just energy and butterflies, and so that's pretty clear. But let's see what the book has to say. So this is all about expression, right? Speaking your truth.
So this is the energy of now for whoever is listening. Is that the intent?
Sure. Just energy. I'm going to share also what showed up on the bottom of the deck. Cause I think that's definitely relevant as well. So just the energies to kind of, start off our reading, our check-in here today, to be complementary with the I Ching, cards that you're going to pull. So we've got speaker truth, and we've got number 18, which adds up to 9, of course, and that's peace. I don't think I've ever pulled either of these, so I'm excited to to see what this
Yeah.
says. So here's the reading from the book for number 22, Speak Your Truth. Being aware of your feelings is one thing, but learning how to express how you feel in a calm and balanced manner, right, can sometimes be a challenge. It is important to understand that speaking your truth does not mean that it will be understood or accepted by others. And it doesn't need to be. The only thing that matters is that you are able to give your feelings a voice and acknowledge how you truly feel. The more you are able to acknowledge and identify how you genuinely feel, the stronger the relationship you have with yourself will become. It is not about being right or wrong. It is simply about knowing and practicing what it means to honor yourself through verbal communication. Now is the time to speak your truth freely. I think that's awesome. Just underscoring the concepts of both expressing yourself in a calm and balanced manner and understanding that once you express yourself, it does not guarantee that it will be understood or accepted by others.
And that's okay.
It is. And I think that segues really well into the other energy on the bottom of the deck, which is peace, right? Because you certainly need to be able to speak your truth to have that sense of inner peace. But also peace, again, knowing and accepting that your truth may not be understood and
I
accepted.
think also like that picture of the card.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes when we're talking about there being issues with the throat chakra, there's a blockage. And that card looks very much like she's just like cracked open, free flowing, transformed.
Yeah.
And when we don't speak our truth, that can make us really ill in many ways, like physically and mentally. I don't know if ill's the right, just the blockage there.
It can. Yeah, it can.
Can show up in a lot of, just as we talked about in previous sessions together, the alignment of our mind and our body, our business. When there's that blockage, and that can also show up in your space and in your environment as well too, that stagnation, it spills over into all the different parts. So if we're trying to like do our alignment check-ins every day, 2025, there's little micro adjustments that we make. If your throat chakra, if you're not feeling that you can express yourself fully and really just, like you said, peacefully, it doesn't matter if people accept it or not. But if you're not fully speaking your truth, expressing yourself, you're not operating in true alignment.
Yeah. And you know what? I think this speaks to speaking your truth just to yourself as well. I think that's a great use for the alignment audit tool. As we were kind of having some candid conversations in our pre-chat, like sometimes this literally isn't a matter of other people at all. It's just like coming to terms with what your actual truth is now and not trying to fit things into a mold for some standard that you've set for yourself that no longer applies. And the butterfly, there's butterflies on this card, and you said the word transformation, which butterflies are obviously a very blatant symbol of transformation, of death and rebirth, of ideas, of aspects of self. And so but it's freeing. Butterflies, right, are also symbols of freedom. So I think that is pretty beautiful for right now. And I think the peace card complements it perfectly, because that sense of peace in many ways comes from that expression of truth. So I'll read so for those of you who can't see, the peace card has a lotus flower on it with a sun coming out of it and the Om symbol. Gorgeous as all these cards are. And so the description in the book for this is there are many times, throughout our human experience when we make snap decisions from a superficial level without even knowing our true desires. Look, hearkening back already to the previous card. This card has come up in your reading because peace is what you desire right now, even if you don't realize it. Currently, there may be too many issues and thoughts swirling around in your life and your mind, keeping you from being at peace. Now is the time to ask yourself what changes are within your power to make that can create a deeper sense of peace for you. Yep. To create a deeper connection with yourself at this time and to gain more clarity, it is recommended that you spend some time doing mind, body, and spirit activities such as shout out yoga or meditation. It is also recommended that you spend some time in nature, always. No matter how small the gesture may seem to you, every little bit counts and is a step closer to your desire. Totally feel that it's on point for me. So hopefully others in the collective are tapping right into that as well.
So I've not seen you pull that card with me and doing readings.
I've never seen it.
And that is exactly what I picture when I was taught Om Mani Padme Hum, which is my favorite mantra. And I use it with really everything in terms of empowering something with an intention. And it means hail to the jewel and the lotus. And it's just that like ever blossoming lotus, the unfolding, it's coming from mud. The most beautiful flower emerges there. And just that life cycle and that image of it having that orb around Om, like the chi. Peace is really life-giving. And I think especially for us today, we live for dopamine hits and chases rather than the peace and the safety and the security. And I do it myself. And, that goes against everything that I practice and preach in all of my lessons and teachings. And, but I'm
But it is a practice. We're humans. So we're drawn to the dopamine hits just like any other human.
Shiny object syndrome, I fall for that all the time. And it's human nature to do that, but that there's micro adjustments that we make every day in alignment. That's one of mine, is to find, I talk about harmony day in and day out, but peace really is like a nuanced part of that. The beauty and the peace and the safety and the comfort. It's not about the extravagance or the extreme pleasurable side of life that brings you the sustainable appreciation.
I kind of see it as like, and look, like it doesn't mean that we have to eliminate the insta pleasures, right? The dopamine hits entirely. But I kind of look at it as like seeking oxytocin instead of dopamine. So, more so that love hormone, if you will, for the things that really matter and that really create that inner peace, as opposed to just the sort of instant gratification.
Yeah, that's a good other word to use in place of dopamine. But certainly, like I tend to be, and I think you know this about me too, or as wordy as I am and as imaginative. And I think that goes along with being an air sign in a lot of ways too. I'm very much a romanticist. I love to see things for the greater beauty of it, the greatest potential of things. And I think that's, in this Capricorn season, has been a real, especially as I'm talking to you about doing my taxes and crunching numbers. And there's a real, polar opposite there that, I'm finding the balance between allowing myself those shiny objects, but also being able to not dismiss that I need to be very task oriented in business at this time.
Well, that's a very Gemini way to look at things.
It is very Gemini.
Multiple things can and do exist at once. And, it really benefits us to embrace that and to, sink our teeth into the different perspectives and different ways of being, sort of depending on the season and the day, even, and the hour. Different times call for being in different modes.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Yeah.
So you don't, you shouldn't be one fixed way all the time.
Way. Yeah.
In the Gemini view.
Yes. And certainly like in the feng shui view of things too, rigidity breaks. Fluidity is the way to
Bend, don't break.
Yeah. But I like the speak your truth. And then with a sense of peace, it's peace no matter the outcome, but to allow that throat chakra to really speak your truth. And, that's something that it's a good reminder for me today in this moment to, as I think reflect on some things that are happening that are currently happening around me where I'm feeling like, okay, I need to speak up. It's not about necessarily placating to make people feel comfortable. It benefits others around you when you're speaking your truth. If you truly believe the people around you are an asset, supporting of whatever it is, friendship based,
and it gives others the permission rather to do the same thing for themselves. So, and that just cultivates a more authentic environment altogether. So, and I want just one more little piece of the piece description that stuck out to me and that goes with the image too, and that I talked about in a post that I just did yesterday on social media. It is just eating the elephant one bite at a time, right? Layering on the tiny little changes, the tiny little bits of progress, like each individual little lotus leaf that just multiplies and multiplies and multiplies, no matter how small it seems at the time, it adds up. So just, not worrying about the however many hundreds of steps there are in between you and what you perceive as being peace for you, but rather just taking those tiny little steps one at a time towards peace.
Yeah, I think the lotus flower is represented in sacred geometry for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and as you say too, it's like the steps that you take towards what you believe to be your peace. Once you get there, then changes. It's like a cycle. So you get to the end and then it changes at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Speaking of social media posts, I think I did see that one of yours.
Yeah, it was like a transformation post.
You were like hiking.
The purpose. Yes, I had a baby on my back. But the purpose, was to say that, like, yes, you can achieve radical change. Because if you look, at the two pictures, it's like it is literally a different person. It's both me, but they're like, what? And but there were 8 years in between, right? So, and you sort of do look at the two, and I even me who experienced the transformation, I look at it and I'm like, how the hell did I even do that? And I kind of remember being in that other body, right? And but the point was just that it doesn't happen overnight, no matter what strategies you employ. And I kind of likened it to think, well, there's some things you could do to make the number on the scale, which is what, in terms of health and fitness, what most people tend to be focused on, especially right now in January, right? And yeah, sure, there's things that you could do to make the scale number go down really, really quickly. But I likened it to me telling someone that the best way to get rich quickly would be to rob a bank, right? Mm-hmm. Could you end up with a large pile of cash? Sure. Is it worth it? At the end of the day, did you actually achieve the result that you wanted? Are you now wealthy because you've got this pile of stolen cash? Or are you pretty much still limited because there's really nothing you could do with it? It's marked or whatever. So
you've done a lot of thinking about robbing a bank.
Well, I just watched a lot of Animal Kingdom, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, I mean, achieving a fitness goal really, really quickly. I think that there's just a really nice analogy to be had there. But
yeah, I mean, I think that applies to all, a lot of different areas in life. In terms of people think they look at you and say, "Oh, this is such a successful year for you. You're an instant success. What an overnight success." And they don't see the 10 years behind the scenes of all the little things
of making mistakes, doing things completely the wrong way, falling behind in progress, making myself sick, whatever the case may be. But ultimately, what got me to this point was just changing my lifestyle via little tiny habit changes that over time added up to a whole new lifestyle, which really facilitated the permanent change. And that same thing applies, I think, to this idea of peace or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, that looks so monumental from where you are. But just, you're not gonna, you'll burn out if you just try to get there overnight. You just say, okay, what's one thing I can do right now that's manageable that gets me a half a step closer to that point?
Right. I like it. Let's close it out and look at the I Ching just for some closing sentiments on what can we do in this moment on our path to speak our truth in a peaceful way as we continue into the next 1 to 3 weeks from this moment. So we'll look at our current energy in terms of how to assess and move forward in speaking our truth in a peaceful way. So the current energy and then 1 to 3 weeks. I think that will be helpful just to push the needle forward. That seems to be like a good check-in. Close enough and not too far away. So right now the energy around many is the energy of oppression. So as we're talking about being able to speak our truth, and then in the coming 1 to 3 weeks, how can we really embody speaking our truth in a way that's peaceful? I'll show you the cards here in a second. After completion. So this is going to be a pretty quick turnaround. So the energy of oppression is currently around us in terms of speaking our truth in a peaceful way. But I think
which is the opposite, of speaking your truth.
Step 1 is recognizing where you're not speaking your truth, maybe.
And where are you oppressing yourself?
a good call to action. So there's no such thing as failure. There's only sweet and sour reality. Often more is learned from the sour than the sweet. So if you're feeling like you're in failure right now, you're not.
Yeah.
Those who dare to live fully and completely, failure is the final taboo in modern society, but only one part of the inevitable cycle of life up and downs. To never fail is to fail in the biggest way. By avoiding risk altogether, one will always fall short of what might have been. So I think as it pertains to speaking your truth, are you not speaking your truth and oppressing yourself because you're afraid that you'll fail for whoever received the truth?
I'm not ready to share exactly what we were talking about before this, but that's exactly what I was talking about before this. And, actively sharing with you that I'm choosing not to look at it as failure. And it is a truth that I've been afraid to sort of speak aloud to myself, because I think I was choosing to view, something different as a failure, where that's not it at all. And, having not explored what I have up to this point would have been a much bigger failure, because I would always wonder, well, what would happen?
So, like, the good news is this is not like a divine life lesson for all of us. It's not like a higher self lesson. This is all interpersonal. So we're controlling ourselves, thinking that we're bringing peace to ourselves and others. It says, so this is interpersonally, it says progress in helping others is still possible, but due to obstructions, it may seem that you are the only one in need of help. This may feel embarrassing, but don't worry, it will pass. In times of misfortune, it's good to accept help where you find it, as long as your personal dignity is preserved. Maybe it means asking for help. And on the other hand, if charitable aid is being asked of you, now might be an excellent time to give. In the end, due to one's strength of character, the obstacles are minor compared to the ultimate value of the desired result. That's interesting. So like pertaining to what may be blocking your throat chakra, everyone listening and us, think about where are we not speaking our truth, or perhaps even asking for help. This may also be a time of indecision. That's interesting. Failing to resolve the problem within causes frustration. You may be more annoyed. This may cause you to stub your toe more often and make more mistakes. So, resulting in more outlashes of anger. This is the time when you may become your own worst enemy. So, thinking about how this impacts you internally, when you're not speaking your truth, you're just going to, basically just, you might find yourself a bumbling idiot, not acting out of alignment.
Yeah. And it looked to me, and I apologize for kind of being so vague about it at this point, but I feel like this is almost a personal reading. So I hope that other people are connecting with it on some level as well. But to me, this is all really more about personal, like, cock blocking.
Yeah.
Blocking your own blessings, really, than any sort of external force. I think this is really about unlocking the truths that we haven't been willing to see thus far, being willing to change our mind and not see that as a failure or anything negative. Changing your mind, this is another very Gemini thing. Changing your mind in the face of new information or circumstances is a good thing. It doesn't make you inconsistent. It makes you wise. that is what people should do. They should be open to changing their minds when the information and the circumstances change. So I think this is really about unlocking all the places in ourselves that we are blocking our own progress forward and our own expression of truth internally and externally.
So this combination of hexagrams does point to this may be a repeat situation for you in some way. Outwardly, things appear fine, but inwardly, you feel oppressed, weighted, and dreary. And then at such times, help often suddenly appears and randomly, like it's served to you on a platter, but you're so stuck on your, it must be this way, that you don't even recognize the opportunity. So when you find yourself in this like situation, you're feeling like you're in the dumps and like people are coming to you offering help, hitch a ride to the higher ground with whatever will get you there and don't look back. And then it says, no matter how overwhelming the challenges might seem, an attitude of gloom or melancholy only makes them feel worse. By working to overcome problems inwardly and committing to move forward without despair, progress is still possible. Banish the phantoms of self-pity before moving to slay the dragons of misfortune. So this is
don't look at the wall. You remember that? Don't look at the wall. If you don't want to hit the wall, stop looking at the fucking wall.
Yeah. If you are, if you've ever been
doom and gloom, y'all.
If you've ever been a waitress or a server, don't look at the glass that you're carrying. Especially if it's coffee or like a big
I have some really good carrying skills from those days.
Oh, me too. Yeah, margarita trays.
Well, we used to have, I worked at one place, I worked at several different restaurants, but I worked at one place where it was like part of our thing. We did not carry trays. We would have to line up in the expo line, and you had to have, this was like as part of your like job interview, you would have to be able to hold 3 plates on one arm, 3 plates on one, 2 plates on the other. So same with glasses, three glasses in one hand, 2 glasses in the other.
Yeah.
Skills to pay the bills, baby.
And if you can do that, you can do this. So in the 1 to 3 weeks, keep this in mind that it's a fine irony that after the completion of a project or a grand enterprise, there is still much to do. Completion is merely a pause in the cycle of creation and decay, a momentary still point for the swinging pendulum. We've been talking a lot about swings between one side or the other. The swinging pendulum of life. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really important, is like the still point between inhalation and exhalation of one's breath. If you're boiling a pot and the fire is too hot and it boils over. So just really keeping things at an even boil. What is incomplete should be brought to fruition without delay. Then take satisfaction upon completion and enjoy a sense of fulfillment, but don't linger too long on endings. So all about balance. Yeah. So speaking your truth and then accessing that peace in the coming 1 to 3 weeks is going to be really important. So everybody listening, look at where you're feeling that sense of stagnation and oppression. It's related to through your throat chakra. Yeah, I mean, I would like to hear. I feel like today's session really made me reflect on a lot of things that are currently happening in my life, not just business, but relationships and in so many different areas. And I don't know. I think that's the most valuable assessment we can do right now, is where we holding our own selves back for like the sake of perceived comfort.
Yep.
Boom. Yeah, and definitely, it's been heavy. a lot of friends and clients and in the International Feng Shui Guild contacts all over the world, not just here in the US, but there's natural disasters happening and disputes and really just some heavy stuff. And I'm so impressed by people that are still moving forward and keeping like some normalcy and also just speaking up when it's probably a lot scarier than I can even imagine to speak up about some things that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody out there who's listening, but I don't know, any last words? Any last words?
You again. No. I think I said a lot of words. I'm out of words.
Yeah. You know what? And
Weird.
that's weird. I know you're just ready to get back to things and push the needle forward. I am. But you know what? Just reflecting too, I do want to check in on our students that we had on last week. Was it last week?
What a fun.
I want to check in with them and make sure that they are pushing the needle forward on getting their truth out there, because I know that I was thinking of them too, that for them, it takes a lot of bravery and courage to talk about things openly and kind of visibly within their student body. So I want to encourage them to, if they're listening, just do it. We say, just do it.
Nike.
You can always adjust, take the imperfect action and get out there, because I want to listen. So, all right, Emily. Well, it's been real.
Yeah.
I'm ready to put my Capricorn hat back on and crunch some numbers for a little bit.
Let's do it. My Capricorn rising is happy right now.
Woo!
I got the glasses on, like, it's serious.
Yeah, you look like you're about to do business.
They're blue blockers, so whenever I'm using the computer a lot, I like to.
They look just like the picture behind you. Yeah, no one can, but we'll have to take a picture.
Spirit animal.
Your spirit animal, the leopard with the.
I gotta give her a name. Yeah, a name.
Is she a leopard or a cheetah?
I think I get to make that. I think I get to.
You get to
figure
that out. Yes, you do. Okay,
make that up.
Yes, you do.
I mean, they call it leopard print, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's leopard print is the first thing that came to mind. But it is up to you. It's your feng shui, so
yeah.
That's the energy you're putting out there. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Check out the link provided in the description so you can check in with us and join us inside of the Conscious Collaboration Collective, our close and private Facebook group, where we're going to be doing some more assessments on your energy throughout 2025, check-ins, and we want to hear if this reading resonated with you. So we hope to see you inside and to hear from you soon.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Holla.
Talk to you in 5.
Talk to you in 5. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank y'all so much for listening to our podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends so they can join our circle of collaboration on this journey. You can find us on Instagram at Conscious Collaboration Podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, and Audible, to name a few. Please join us next time for another deep dive into how you can live life in more alignment, mind, body, and business. Send us your questions and comments in our DMs or email us at consciouscollaborationpodcast@gmail.com. See you in 5 minutes.